In this video, we're going to talk about the product rule. Product rule basically states that if your factors are the same, you can add the exponents. Okay, so what do we do? Well, let's do a few problems here. Let's say you had something like 3 times 3 times 3, and they told you to simplify, well, or change it into an exponent. Well, you can see that these all have an exponent of 1. So that's going to be 3, 1 plus 1 plus 1, which will give you 3 to the 3. Sometimes they'll ask you to evaluate it. Well, that's just 3 times 3 times 3. And 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is going to be 27. Okay. So let's do another one. Let's do x to the third times x squared. So this time we have some factors that are variables. And what do we do? Well, it has the same factor, and we just say 3 plus 2, and that's going to give you x to the fifth. So let me do it some other way. Let's say that you didn't know the product rule, right? So this tells me that it's x to the third power, right? This tells me I have 3 factors of x. So I have 3 factors of x. There's the multiply, right? So I'll put multiply. And then this number tells me I have 2 factors of x. So I'm going to write them out. So what do we got? Well, we got how many factors of x? 5. So I didn't have to know the product rule at all. Okay. So, well, kind of. Of course, we kind of have to know because these are all ones, right? But you get the idea. Okay, so what about if I had something like negative 2 with parentheses squared and then negative 2, right? What about if I had this situation? Well, this factor of negative 2, right, has an exponent of 1. So here we go. So let's say again, they tell you, hey, change this into an exponent form or some exponential form, sometimes a simplify. Okay, so negative 2 is our factor, and we got 2 plus 1, and in this case it's going to be what? Negative 2, and then 2 plus 1 gives you 3. Of course, they might ask you to evaluate it, and if we do that, well, then that would be what? Negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. And so negative 2 times negative 2 is 4 times negative 2, right? That's going to give you negative 8. And again, you just have to listen to your teacher. Simplify might just mean go all the way from here to here. But usually simplify tends to be all the way over here, not necessarily, but evaluate for sure. You go from here to here, you're evaluating, you're trying to find, go further than the exponent. Okay, so here's another problem that we're going to do. Let's say we had something like, 8 times 2, which is kind of weird, I know. So can we, 8 and 2 are not the same factors, but can we break down 8 somehow? I have a great video on how to break numbers into their prime factorization. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here on this side. I'm going to say 8, and I'm going to break down 8 into its factors. So I know 2 goes into 8 4 times, 2 goes into 4 2 times. Sometimes people like to do it the tree method, what two numbers will give you 8, 2 times 4, and then I can break this down to 2 times 2. And you can see that, I can borrow this or take this. Either way, I don't particularly like the tree. I like the ladder, but it's up to you what you like. It doesn't really matter. So 8 really is 2 times 2 times 2, because I get 3 factors of 2 from the 8. And then this guy right here is another 2. So how many factors of 2 do I have? I have 4 of them. And of course, I can always continue on and to evaluate that if I wanted to. So you can see the product rule is basically just taking in factors and looking at their exponent.